From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey, everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and Chief Digital Strategist at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I have Mr. Ryan Waterbury with me for our monthly agency chat, and we are going to talk about why customers need to follow your support system and support guidelines for agencies. Sit back, relax, enjoy it. The SDM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing concierge that helps you put all your marketing pieces together. We are your marketing experts. We are also your WordPress security experts and know how to lock down a website and protect yourself from bad actors. So contact us at Stunning Digital Marketing. Let's go. Hey, everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Ryan Waterbury. It's Agency Talk Time. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, man?
I've had better weeks.
Yeah,
I will tell you that.
I second that one. As you know quite well, it's birthday week, and anyway, if anybody's really bored, they can or really want some good insight, go look at the podcast I put out yesterday. But that's another story. We've all had better weeks. I think part of our problem, I was thinking about this morning, is all our businesses are back. The kids are all back in school, and we're about to get into busy retail season. And you and I both know WordPress decided putting out 6.9 in December was a very good idea. But we will
Yeah.
not go there, I think. I wish they had stayed away from December like nothing.
Yeah. That will be a January update when hopefully things are quiet.
Yeah, I hope so too. But today, we were going to talk about a subject that's dear to my heart, as you know, and dear to yours, and that's how
Mhm.
do our clients submit support tickets and how do you deal with support? Kind of that whole mess. And I was thinking about a situation I had a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, with my friend Leslie. And I picked up the phone, and you kind of derived and hit on it when we are talking before the show. You're talking about you don't call the Comcast CEO every time something breaks.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about a situation I had with Rogers Communications, and those in the States who don't know, they're Canada's biggest TV phone provider out there. And I called because she was having problems with her TV. And I got a guy on the front end who typical, they don't know much. The kids on the front end are as bad as script kiddies. They might as well be. They read a script and they do. And I did what I always did, and I escalated to a manager because I didn't get the satisfaction I wanted. So right away, I know what the support process is. I get somebody on the phone. I don't like it. I go to a technical manager. And then the technical manager kind of hum and hawed at me for about 10 minutes and said, "You really don't understand networks." And I'm thinking, do you have any idea what I've done in my career? Like, leave me alone. And and the minute that came out, I said, escalate the call. Now, Roger's escalation process is you get somebody on the front end, you go to a tech manager, and those who don't know, if you're not happy there, you escalate to what's called the Office of the President at the OPM. And what that office is the customer service office that reports right to the CEO that sorts out all the crap that everybody, guys like me, are all pissed off at because other people can't do their job. But the key is I know I can't get to the Office of the President office unless I go through stages. So I know what the stages are. And then you and I both get the wonderful clients, and I mean wonderful, who email us or text us at 9 o'clock at 10 o'clock at night for non-emergencies and want it done now, and they don't even want to follow the support process. So where do we go from here? You're
Should probably
muted.
be off mute.
Yeah. Go
Honestly,
ahead.
you know, I made the point about not calling the Comcast CEO when your internet's out for a reason. That we are,
Yep.
my accountant reminded me of this the first time she filed my taxes. She said, "You are the president, founder, and CEO of your company." And I didn't really think about it like that.
Yep.
And, you have to start thinking about yourself as a business owner or company owner, even if you're a solo operator.
Hmm.
If you have things coming in via Facebook message, X DMs, Instagram DMs, texts, calls, everything
Hmm.
but your funnel to your support ticket, you're not going to keep up. You're going to drop things and things are going to be missed. Uh, and this is really important that people use your ticketing portal, especially if you're a solo owner, because it's a lot to handle. We want to grow, we want to be busy, but at the end of the day, managing 20 different channels of communication for each individual client and their taste, it doesn't work. And we've talked about our enforcing our terms and conditions. Well, this is another one of those pieces that comes back to that where you will get what you allow until you stop it. And I now have staff that is off hours. So I had an individual text me at 9:27 last evening with a very non-critical issue. There are continuing issues this morning that they've broken more stuff after I
Oh,
fixed
fine.
things. But my support guy around the world sat and did nothing and while getting paid. And the support ticket could have been taken care of, but they refused to use the portal and texted me directly. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to send my client update for Q3 and remind them that support is only available 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, via the support ticket portal. If it's a critical issue, it may be taken care of on off-peak hours. I might
Yep.
not be the one doing it. And that's something that clients will abuse you and use you until you say no. And it is abuse. I'm not going to say it's not anything but
Mhm.
because they want something immediately at your expense. And
Yep.
paying for support after hours is not something any of my clients do. Not, I do have a plan
So,
for it, but no one is
so,
on it.
so I want to kind of go there. Um, I agree with you 100%. So I know in my agency, the only thing that qualifies is a website being down after hours. That's it. Everything else
Mhm,
is tomorrow or scheduled.
mhm,
And common thing we all get, and we know this is I get these all the time, especially in retail season. And we're in the retail season now. I have an e-commerce site. I need to change prices Friday night at 4 o'clock. And I need this done by Monday at 8 a.m. And I just say, you know what my policy is? I say, unless you want to pay 3 times my normal rate, not your discounted rate, my normal rate, 3 times at a 3 hour minimum and paid in advance, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
And they say, but,
absolutely.
and they
Mhm.
say, but, and the reason I make it paid in advance is if you don't, then they start, oh, will you give me a break? Will you negotiate? And I want to give you a parallel to that. I was in my friends who run the jewelry store on Wednesday. I'm usually there at least every second Wednesday, if not every these days, every second Wednesday with everything going on. And they had a client come in and he had agreed to a quote of X dollars. Not only had he agreed to the code, he signed off on it using BreezeDoc, the AppSumo product, electronically. So they have now, on my insistence, thank you, Rob, gone to all major quotes over $100. Any work over $100 has to be signed off before they'll even send it up electronically. And he says to them, I want to negotiate. I want to pay 2/3 of what I've written. And the store owner looked at him and said, you're not getting your ring. Oh, I'll just call your husband. And she said, you go ahead. And what did he tell him? The same thing. The point is, this is why when people want something in a rush, they got to pay up front too, because then all the negotiation starts after. And we don't deserve that. These are our policies. These are our rules. If you don't like it, go for dev to do the work. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But don't break it on my server, because you break it on my server, I'm sending you a bill.
Absolutely. And that's something that I've been seeing more and more. And it kind of gets into what we call, just with dev projects, we call scope creep. People expecting more than they originally asked for or paid for.
Yep.
And that's why I said it comes down to abuse, because eventually they're going to ask for something and expect it off hours. And, and if you don't do it when you put your foot down, you're right. If they leave, I am perfectly fine with that, because I have a
Mhm.
life outside of work and I've been trying to prioritize that for my own health, mental and physical. And it's been beneficial. I'm getting more work done during the day. I'm
Yep.
more focused and refreshed. And it's important for everyone to have that in their life. And
And
if
but,
you have
and
clients
but, yeah.
that, if you have
And
red
you
flag
went,
clients that,
yeah.
let me finish here on this one. If you have red flag clients that after several warnings, and I want to talk about the warnings. One, I will put in a ticket for you and remind you that you need to use the system. Two, I will put another ticket in and let them know this is their last warning. If they do it a third time, I will send them a backup and put them on their way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry
I'm,
about that. I'm
yeah,
I'm as I'm as passionate about this. So two things I want to jump in and share, and something you hit on. You're taking care of your mental health. I am so proud of you, Ryan, because as entrepreneurs, and you know my theory around mental health, and you know my journey and what I've been through, and I've been
mhm,
very transparent about it. And you know quite well that Tiz and I even jumped into relationship therapy, and we're still in it.
mhm,
So I am the number one proponent of mental health, probably in the WordPress space, with a few other guys, but I'm there. So you need to do that. We need to talk about that in a separate though. That's
sure.
another story again. The other thing is the way you're handling. So I'm my own worst enemy. I have tried one, two, three, four, five support ticket systems in the last 2 years,
Mhm,
3 years. You know
yep.
that. And every time my clients don't want to do this, my clients don't want to do this, my clients don't want to do this, I caved, I caved, I caved. I did a SaaS product. I did a WordPress based ticketing system. I've done it all. And then 3 weeks ago, I was sitting around on a Friday night and said, I'm done with this. And I went and installed Odesk. And you know what Odesk is.
Yep.
And
I
you know
have used
what?
it myself.
And you know what? It's very simple on the back end with the categories, which makes it easy for me. But I have got clients opening tickets on Odesk and not bugging me right now. And it is so wonderful.
That's,
And I basically said to them for 60 days, so that takes me probably till the end of the year, I'll get them. If they email me directly, I will open up a ticket. But I've
mhm,
also said, don't send me WhatsApp notes. Don't send me text messages. Don't. The one exception is you can send me a WhatsApp or a text message if it's a 911, and that means your site is down. And I have
mhm,
made it clear in all my client communications that that is the only acceptable reason. If you send me anything else not from North, I will bill you.
mhm.
And that's the end of
Ab-
it.
Absolutely. How many times have clients contested that bill? You know where I'm
Not
going
very,
with this.
yes, way too many to sink a battleship. It always turns into a Zoom call, by the way, which I add to the value of the bill because,
Hmm.
and I just
It,
say, guys, look, you run a business. Are you available for your clients at 2 in the morning? Well, that's it's not
no,
different.
that's not different. Absolutely not.
And
And
we need to
you,
and we need to start putting boundaries and
mhm,
parameters around it. And
yes.
there's a lot of anybody doesn't think of it, go to Audible. There's a lot of good books on boundaries, guys.
Mhm.
Read one, please.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you just gotta dig in, because the problem is not you, the business owner. The problem is these people. And you and I both know we live in a society right now where the world is messed and frigged up. And we know that.
Well, and also society has instant access to information, and they assume that includes you personally.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
kind of where it's gotten to.
So those who don't know me, and I'll reiterate this, I do not have social media on my phone. That's gone, long gone. So the only thing I have on my phone, I have gone back to running Beeper, because Beeper brings in my DMs from all the social media sites. I actually pay for Beeper. They whether you like automatic or hate automatic, I'm not going to debate that. They've cleaned Beeper up big time. The one thing they've removed out of Beeper that's made it stable is iOS messaging and SMS messaging. Thank God. So the product is stabilized. It's running really well. So I've got Beeper. I also have WhatsApp natively on my phone and Signal natively on my phone, just because if I have to do a quick voice chat, I can do it on those. You can't do voice
Mhm.
chats Beeper app. That's okay. I have no other social on my phone. I've got Slack on my phone for
Mhm.
colleagues, but I don't hate my clients can't find me on Slack, so that's okay. So the point I'm making is I have no social on my phone. So if a client thinks they're going to slide into my Facebook messages and send me a message, I'm probably going to ignore it. I'm going to see it on paper and say, I'll get to it when I get home, because that's
Mhm.
not in my terms of service, nor is WhatsApp, nor is anything. And
Exactly.
it's a 911. I got a website down. That's a different ballgame. But don't cry wolf if it's not the reality of it all, because people like to do things like that.
Exactly. And it really comes down to honoring your policies and having respect for yourself. That's what it comes
Mhm.
down to. Your time is worthy of respect. You shouldn't you shouldn't put a I constantly refer to myself as a starving baker. It was true. I never got to my things and my business has suffered for it. And
Yeah.
and it needed to stop. And over the past 2 years, I've been changing some things and slowly putting things in place. I have another TNC thing that I will share with you on server limits. That is also going in. It never ends. That somebody is constantly abusing something,
Yeah.
and you think you've covered everything, but you haven't. So not only are additional TNCs going in today, uh, and I thought I had everything covered for support and the three strikes rule, but I didn't. And then there were a few other things. I think it's probably, it used to be once every other month when I was starting out that I'd have to update my TNCs because I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. And my legal didn't either. But the point is, have respect for yourself, build a nice set of terms, build a system that is usable by your clients. If it's truly not usable and it's not working and it just, they can't use it, then you need to find another solution
Yep.
because like I said, the Comcast CEO doesn't get these calls. You shouldn't either if you have a team. And if you're solo, I'm going to say you shouldn't either. The first line of defense should be your support ticket. The
Yep.
second, if it's a 911, I have the same policy. Feel free to call, but I'm probably going to know before you will with all the alerts and monitoring that we have set up on the site.
Me too. Yep. There is truth to that. And that's the reason we know is one of the things we both offer is care plans and hosting, right? And we need to make sure we know what's going on. And
Mhm.
I'll get calls all the time, and a client will say to me, "Oh, do you realize this isn't working?" Oh, yeah, I know. I probably won't know by the time it happens. So, and that's still managing like 600 websites that I know what's going on. So, that says a lot, right? So,
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
besides, and what you and I will find is, and I think you and I have talked about this enough for the last 3 or 4 years. Um, what has happened is it's the same people all the time too.
Mhm.
So it's
And it's not just the same people, it's the same type of people. And
yeah,
what it comes down to is I'm seeing different red flags, not ones that come up in early discussions, but also the issue is similar to another one I had before, personnel change.
yeah.
And the new person is full of red flags, and you're deeply invested in this client, and they hire a new employee who's problematic. And that's a whole nother topic and an issue we need to go over. But personnel changes on the client side. Then, there's a new relationship that has to be managed. And a lot of times you're starting over and you have to either retrain that client that they need to do these are your policies and this is how things work. And if you want to
Hmm.
work within them, we can continue.
Yeah.
If not, then you need to change some things, either at that client's location, or they might not be your client anymore.
Yeah, I just went through with this with one of my oldest clients where they actually changed the person because their board changed and they changed people. And surprisingly, it's gone pretty smooth. Their new board is
Mhm.
really quiet, and I'm not now. I'm about to send them another email today saying, "Oh, by the way, just doing a quick follow up," because I think the other thing we have to do as agency owners is when personnel changes to build that relationship, we got to be on top of them more than they realize. So there's that too. So I think we got to kind of handhold a little bit more than we'd like to, because in the end, that saves you and I lots of time. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add to this wonderful mess of clients submitting support tickets? Except what I would say is, guys, you know, generally people like Ryan, people like myself, we have an expertise and we're there to help you. So make it easy for us. Like sometimes you think you submit a ticket, spell it out, include the screenshots, give it all to us at once, and then we can come back to you and say, do we need more information? Like I would rather a client give me way more than I need than very little. What do you think about?
Uh, Oh, absolutely. So I use a tool that I bought, and it's one of the most useful tools that I've ever purchased in AppSumo. It's called UserBack, and
Hmm.
it collects feedback. I encourage, and it feeds right into my ticketing system. It takes a screenshot, it checks the console log, it gives me all the errors, and I know exactly what page and what they were doing. I get a video of what they were doing up to that point. I have every piece of information to solve your problem with that. Maybe not
Yep.
every instance, but 9 times out of 10, that tells me exactly what went wrong. If you text me, if you email me, if you send me a Facebook message, I have zero of that information. And then you've
Yep.
also just pissed me off. So your
Yep.
priority went down a little bit because I have to go take time and schedule time to do the research and investigation that you refuse to do to help us help you with your problem. And that's what really frustrates me because people are expecting more for less now. And we're seeing less respect for others. It's just we need to take a step back and communicate and reiterate how we need to work and what we need in order to move forward and make sure that everyone's happy.
Yeah, so true, Ryan. A quick shout out to our good friend Cami McNamara. I know Cami, every time you and I do one of these shows, I get an email saying, "Oh, are you guys in my brain? Are you guys thinking about what I'm talking about?" Because if anybody hasn't read Cami's newsletter, it's very agency focused. I suggest you
Mhm.
get on that one too. So, like, I mean, Cami knows what she's doing as well, and she's been a
Yep.
guest on the show. And right after this episode comes out, actually, we're Cami and I are gonna. I'm putting out an episode that Cami and I recorded all about her experience at WordCamp US. So that's coming down the
Oh,
road too. So
fantastic.
shout out to
If you want to
Cami.
do, oh, I was going to say, if you want to do a Google search, the new newsletter is called Web Designer Habits.
Yeah, thank you for that. And get on that one, Cami. We both Ryan and I love you, so
Mhm.
we're there. And the other thing, a little plug I'm gonna take, and I usually don't plug. we are recording this. This will be episode 595. So,
Oh,
we are the magic 600 is coming, and all I'll say about that episode is the show will be closed by somebody pretty special to me, and that's all I'm going to say at this point. Everybody keeps asking me who's closing that show, and a couple of people know, but I'm not going to reveal it at this point. You have to watch the show when it comes out in a week and a half to see who ends that show. So that's all. Anything you want to push, Ryan, while we're talking or plug?
I don't have any FOMO things to push out myself
Oh
today.
God.
Uh,
Well, go over to One Dog Solutions and find out everything Ryan does. And
yeah, we're doing some amazing things, and we're ready to turn back on our lead gen funnels, ramp up our SEO again. It's been turned off for 2 years, but in order to onboard more clients, they need to use our support system and follow our
yeah,
SOPs. Otherwise,
yeah,
we just simply can't do the work appropriately for them. And that's what it comes down to. If you can't work within our guidelines, then we simply can't efficiently and effectively do the work. And that's what it comes down to. We want to do the work for you. We want to be efficient. We want to do it for a good price that's fair. And we want you to succeed. But if you won't work with us, then we can't work with you. And that's the whole point of this. I get a little hot under the collar when it's been third strike and you've given them allowances and they don't seem to realize it. And they don't understand what's at stake for them either. So
yeah.
be kind to each other, communicate, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, and you just mentioned something really good. There's you say communicate. There's a really good book on communication out there, and the name escapes me as we record, but I'll toss it in the show notes because I think it's worth listening to. And have a great day, Ryan. And you posted something on Facebook. I'm really grateful. You and I have been doing this for 3 years, monthly. It's been such a
Oh,
fun
yeah.
and thanks for being part of it. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Have a great day, my friend. Talk to you soon.
This podcast has been brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing concierge to help the business owner put all his pieces together, whether it's email marketing, WordPress security, WordPress design and development, PPC, and more. Text Stunning Digital Marketing for all your digital marketing needs today.
Hey, everybody. I just want to take a moment and thank Mr. Ryan Waterbury for joining me on the SDM show. It's worth mentioning Ryan was the first one to join the show as a co-host, and he had posted on Facebook this week. He was coming up to 3 years of doing the show. So, Ryan, thanks so much for today and every day. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.
The SDM show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.